While graduating from my class 12th, my school principal gave a beautiful speech where he emphasized the importance of self respect. He said, whenever one should enter into any difficult situation, one must take decision based on self respect. That message stayed with me. And whenever in my work and in my life I have faced difficult situation, I have always insisted that I will stick towards the self-respect. That helped me in building a beautiful career, and also I don't have any repentant regret in my life, and also it helped me in maintaining healthy relationship in my personal life and also in my work life. There is a very thin line between self-respect and ego. So at times I also used to ask this question, am I into ego zone or am I into a self-respect zone? In order to get the clarity, I used to ask various questions, and once I get the answer to it, and slowly then I learned how to stick to the self-respect part of it. Let me share a very recent example of what decision I have taken by keeping self-respect in mind. When I was quitting my full-time job, at that time my decision was almost quite sudden. It was just like in few weeks I have made a decision of quitting my job because I was getting bored of running the company for the last 15 years or the India Center for the last 15 years, and the corporate have given me an option to move to United States to become a global head of software. Initially I thought that, oh, that is tempting, but then I thought, for what? Because I wanted to stay in Bangalore. I didn't want to leave India. So I thought that, okay, let me quit. And now I'm going to start my own solopreneur journey. When I told this to my management and stakeholder, they were all very surprised. Many people came to me and said that I had so much of unvested stock. So why don't I stay for 6 months, 9 months, get those stock in cash and then go out of the company? But then I said, no, just for this immediate benefit, short-term benefit, which is a monetary one. I have already informed my decision to my management. Then what they are going to think about it? They are going to come with a succession planning. They are also going to come with a new role and responsibility. And in front of my eyes, things will start changing. I have never taken a decision just keeping money in mind, but I have always taken a decision keeping self-respect in mind. And I quit my job with full self-respect, disregarding the money part of it, because it is the self-respect which one carries it. And even 7 years after I have left the job, still most of the people across globe, they are in touch with me. Whenever they have any challenges or whenever they want to take some input, they are with me and they are still in contact with me, because self-respect is what one carries forward, not the money. So there is a very thin line between self-respect and ego. So let me try to explain that self-respect is something which is basically your self-worth. You are aware of your self-worth. You are going to have some dignity and you are very good in setting up boundaries. Where the ego is something which is about self-importance and inflated self-worth. So what happens is that majority of the people whom I have seen, even though they have superior skills, they are great people, but then they enter into an ego zone. They cross from self-respect to ego, which is not good, because they think they are speaking from self-confidence, but actually they are belittling others. They are unknowingly into recognition, into their personal goal, and also at times they start to rub their colleagues in a wrong way. And then they also become very sensitive whenever you give any feedback or criticism. And these are the signs that they have entered into the ego zone. So what happens to such professionals? Despite having great skills, over time they are sidelined, they are capped, or they have been given such opportunities where they have to interact with very few people. So it is very important that you must maintain a healthy relationship at work, and even if your contribution is little less than the very high performer, even if your IQ is little less than the very high performer, still you will be much more valuable, because you are operating from self-respect and you are not operating from ego. So this balancing of self-respect is ego is very important for any professional's journey. And if you are not going to do that one, then what will happen? You will be suffering from lot of work related problems like anxiety, like conflict, conflict, like stress, and also at times you will be labeled as a non-team player. I have seen many sharp and brilliant professionals, whenever they come into any difficult situation, they go for immediate benefit, they go for tangible benefit, they go for short-term benefit by disregarding their self-respect. So they get all those things, but then it hurts them. Internally, something is killing them, that, oh, I have done something where it looks like my reputation will be impacted, and they don't feel good about it. Similarly, those who are taking up from the ego zone, any decision based on ego zone, then they go and just take the decision, and later on they realize that, oh, it is their inflated ego, it is their self-importance, it is their overthinking about that, okay, I'm very overskilled, they have taken some decision, and that decision then they fall flat, and it takes a lot of time for them to rise again. So watch my video until the end, where I'm going to tell you 3 behaviors of a self-respecting professional, 3 behaviors of an egocentric professional, and how you can balance self-respect and ego for your professional life, for your full life, and that is going to help you to navigate work and life better. And if you have not already liked, shared and subscribed to my channel, which is having more than 150 videos, then you please do it. Also, I have released my own custom chat GPT, and I named it as Utkarsh Rai Career and Leadership Tips All Levels, where I have put 2 decades of my work, and you can interact with my digital twin, and you can ask any work related challenges, and you are going to get a great solution out of that. So let's look into it, the 3 behaviors which self-respecting professionals always exhibit. First is self-confidence. This self-confidence is so evident, but then it inspires trust and collaboration into others rather than they appear boastful. Second is assertive communication. They are communicating their ideas, their suggestions, their plan in an assertive way, and they are also open that, okay, you provide your own suggestions, you provide your own criticism, and let's work towards whatever is good for the organization or for the team. So they invite people to come and look into the whole thing rather than it is I, me, myself, that, okay, this is my suggestion and I become sensitive to it. So their communication is very clear. Because the communication is clear, also that they are having so much of self-confidence, and it also emanates from self-respect. And the third, which is the most important behavior, is resilient self-worth. Even under difficult situation, even under lot of big challenges, they always maintain their self-respect. They know that they are not going to take any shortcut, and they are always going to value their self-worth, because it is the soul, it is their own individual which is going to live longer rather than what people are talking or what people are saying. So they want to feel good, so they are resilient even under difficult situations. Now let's look into the 3 behaviors which an egocentric person normally exhibit. First is I, me, myself. Every time they are looking for their own personal success, their own individual growth, and at times it is not aligned with the team goal or with the company goal, and it becomes very clear. And even in the meetings, they will be always self-praising, I, me, myself, always doing that one. And then the people start to have some repulsiveness that, okay, let me interact with this person as less as possible. Oh, again, I'm going to have a meeting with him, and now again, I'm going to hear all his praise and all his achievements and accomplishments. Second behavior is defensiveness. Even though they are having inflated ego, they have a high self-importance, they have overvalued their self-worth, but whenever any difficult situation comes where there is a criticism, there is a feedback, or there is a flaw in their suggestions, they immediately withdraw. They will become a lot defensive, and they will be trying to justify rather than being open, rather than being, okay, this could happen, so now let's work towards the other way around. So but they become, ego is so much tied to their idea, so much tied to their suggestion, that they suffer. And the third one is micromanagement. Because of their ego, their personal victory, they start to micromanage. And if they are working in a micromanagement mode within the things which is in their control, it is still okay, but then they try to influence others or control others, and that is where the problem comes comes because they started to rub their colleagues in a wrong way. So these are the three broad behaviors of a self-respecting person, and these are the three broad behaviors of an egocentric person. Now let's look into it, how one can balance self-respect and ego for a healthy work life. First is self-awareness. One should ask, as I said in the beginning of the video, one should ask questions. Am I in the self-respect zone or am I into the ego zone? And once you will be self-aware of it, at times, even if you cross from self-respect to ego, people know that this person is predominantly self-respecting person. They are fine with that because no one is perfect. At times, it's a human tendency to cross from self-respect to ego. But if you are self-aware of it, you will immediately come back and you will do some of the damage control. Or if not, you just accept it and move forward. Second one is cultivate humility. Once you are having humility, that even if, as I said earlier, you will cross from self-respect to ego, because of your humility, people will forget, people will forgive, because they know that you operate from the self-respect plane. And humility is going to hide a lot of other disadvantages or weaknesses of a person. So it is better that you cultivate humility. So even if you are operating from an ego zone, that humility is going to dilute that one. Third is effective communication. Many a times I have seen that those who are egocentric, they have a personal agenda, they have a personal goal, and when they are communicating, they are not communicating in a right way, they are not communicating in an effective way, because they have a hidden agenda, they have a hidden meaning, so they are trying to navigate like that one, and that pisses off other people, and they can easily see that this person is not right. So you have to have an effective communication. Even if there is certain goal which you want to achieve, there is nothing wrong in achieving your personal goal. Make it clear, make it very evident that this is what I want to achieve, because this is going to help me in this way, and by helping me in this way, this is how it is going to help the team or help the company. So this is how one should approach it. And the fourth one is emotional regulation. We are into a stressful work environment. Even our life is very stressful. So at times it is fine, it is good that you take a break for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, either through meditation or just appear that you are a fly on the wall. You are just watching the whole situation as a third person, as a distant person. And then many of the problems which you think is very big, it is start to appear dwarf. Many of the challenges which thinks like there is no solution to it, then you will be start to getting some solutions out of it. So it is better that you need to maintain your emotional balance, and once you have an emotional balance, then it also helps you to avoid you crossing from self-respect to ego. So professionals, I hope you have understood the difference between ego and self-respect, what you should do in order to avoid crossing from self-respect to ego line, and how you can balance self-respect and ego. I hope you like this video. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.